The ultimate gatekeeper of truth isn't what you think. Not the kind of science that dives into the mysteries of the unknown, but the rigid materialist version that claims everything is random, pointless, and purely the result of chance. In that worldview, synchronicities are dismissed as nothing but mental glitches. Your mind playing tricks on you. See 11:11 on the clock repeatedly. Just confirmation bias. Run into the perfect person at the exact right moment. Pure luck. This belief system strips life of deeper meaning, disconnecting you from the invisible forces quietly guiding your journey. But here's what they never tell you. Some of the greatest minds who ever lived, Carl Jung, Nikola Tesla, Albert Einstein, understood that reality isn't nearly as random as we've been taught. They knew that synchronicities, patterns, and strange alignments were not accidents, but glimpses into a much larger truth. Yet society mocks anyone who dares to believe this. Mention synchronicities and you'll be branded as superstitious, irrational, or worse, delusional. The ones who embrace these signs get cast aside as spiritual weirdos, while those who stick to the materialist mindset are applauded as logical, reasonable, and intelligent. That's not a coincidence. If you want to keep people powerless, step one is making sure they never realize the power they hold within. Because once you begin noticing synchronicities, you awaken to something profound. You are deeply connected to something far greater than yourself. There are truths too powerful for this platform, which is exactly why I created Insights Academy, where we dive into reality's hidden architecture. Sign up today and receive an exclusive ebook copy of the Kybalion, an ancient guide to the universal laws that govern everything. Hit the link in the description before it disappears. The real reason they don't want you noticing synchronicities is because they crack the illusion. They reveal that life isn't just a mechanical, soulless system, but an intelligent, responsive web that reacts to your thoughts, feelings, and energy. Once you start seeing these patterns, you can't unsee them. And that's where the real awakening begins. It leads to a deeper question. If synchronicities aren't random, what are they? Where do they come from? And why do they seem to accelerate the moment you begin paying attention? Let's go deeper. Chances are, at some point, you've had an experience so perfectly timed, so impossibly precise, it defied logic. You think of someone you haven't heard from in years, and suddenly they call you. You flip open a book at random, and the exact answer to your question is right there staring back at you. You start seeing number sequences 111, 2922, 333 everywhere, like cosmic breadcrumbs left on your path. These aren't coincidences. They're messages. And the more you start noticing them, the more frequently they show up. Here's the real secret. Synchronicities are not random accidents. They are intentional signals from a deeper intelligence, a guiding force that's been whispering to you your entire life. The universe isn't just a collection of isolated random events. It's a vast interconnected field of consciousness and energy. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every intention you set, all of it sends out a frequency like a signal tower. And synchronicities are the universe's way of responding. They are the bridges between the visible and the invisible, between the physical world and the metaphysical, between the conscious mind and the subconscious. Carl Jung, the father of modern depth psychology, coined the term synchronicity after witnessing countless examples of unexplainable yet deeply meaningful coincidences. He believed they were glimpses of the hidden order behind reality, something ancient traditions had spoken of for thousands of years. Eastern philosophies call it karma. Mystics refer to it as divine timing. Quantum physicists hint at it with non-locality, the idea that everything is connected beyond space and time. Mainstream science, though, avoids the topic entirely, labeling it illusion despite the mounting evidence. But think about this. The entire universe is built on patterns and relationships. Nature follows fractal designs. Planets orbit according to precise mathematical ratios. Your DNA is a symphony of repeating codes. Everything runs on patterns, cycles, structures. So why would human experience be any different? The truth is, it isn't. Synchronicities are proof of the hidden, architecture underneath reality. They're like tiny tears in the veil of the simulation, moments where the deeper order briefly shines through. And when you start seeing them, you begin to understand that reality is far more flexible, far more moldable than you've ever been taught. So if synchronicities are messages, the next question becomes, who or what is sending them? Some believe they come from a higher version of yourself, your higher self nudging you toward your destiny. Others think they are signals from the collective unconscious, the vast ocean of shared thoughts and archetypes Carl Jung described. And some suggest that they are direct messages from an external intelligence. Whether you call it God, Source, the universe, or even a sophisticated simulation, trying to guide its participants. Whatever you choose to believe, one thing is certain. Synchronicities are not meaningless. They are invitations, calls to wake up, to shift from living on autopilot, to becoming a conscious creator. Because once you start recognizing them, the illusion of randomness falls apart. And that brings us to the next question. What's happening behind the scenes that causes these impossibly perfect alignments? And more importantly, how can you use them to reshape your life? The answer lies in understanding the invisible mechanics behind reality itself. Let's go even deeper. If synchronicities are messages from a deeper intelligence, then how exactly are they being generated? What's the mechanism that makes these perfect alignments show up? Here's the truth. There's a hidden process that explains why certain events link together in ways that seem to transcend logic. And once you grasp this process, you'll realize you have far more influence over reality than you were ever told. At the core of synchronicity is a profound principle. Your mind is not just a passive observer of reality. It's an active participant in constructing it. Modern neuroscience backs this. Your brain uses a filtering system called the reticular activating system, or RS. This network in your brainstem determines what information breaks through into your conscious awareness. Ever buy a new car and suddenly see that exact model everywhere? Those cars were always there, but your brain wasn't filtering them in until now. The same happens with synchronicities. The moment you begin looking for them, expecting them, believing in them, your focus shifts, and the patterns become visible everywhere. But it runs even deeper than brain science. Quantum physics has demonstrated for decades that conscious observation affects reality itself. The famous double-slit experiment proved that simply observing can change how particles behave on a subatomic level. This means reality isn't some fixed objective machine. It's responsive. Your thoughts, emotions, and attention directly interact with the fabric of existence. Now combine this with the law of vibration, a fundamental truth recognized by mystics and metaphysicists for centuries. Everything, absolutely everything, is energy, vibrating at different frequencies. Your beliefs, thoughts, and emotions each emit a frequency, and that frequency determines what you attract and what patterns emerge in your life. If your mind is stuck on fear, scarcity, and limitation, your energy aligns with those vibrations, and your reality mirrors it back with matching patterns. But when you shift your focus, raise your frequency toward purpose, alignment, and synchronicity, you begin experiencing a reality that reflects that elevated state right back to you. This is why those who awaken to synchronicities start noticing them more and more. It's not simply that they're paying more attention, it's that their energy is shifting, and reality responds in turn. When you direct your focus toward signs, patterns, and messages, you're tuning your consciousness into the hidden framework of the universe, similar to adjusting a radio to the perfect frequency. And here's where things get even more fascinating. Your subconscious plays a massive part in creating synchronicities. While your conscious mind handles daily tasks, your subconscious is always working in the background, connecting dots, recognizing patterns, and linking information. When you set an intention, whether you're aware of it or not, your subconscious starts aligning circumstances and events to steer you toward that outcome. This is why those who firmly believe in synchronicities experience them far more often. Their subconscious is actively involved in orchestrating their reality. Now, skeptics will say that this is nothing more than selective attention, that synchronicities are just random events your brain happens to notice. But if that's true, then why do these events so often carry deep personal relevance? Why do they mirror your inner thoughts, emotions, and desires? And why do they show up at precisely the right moment? And how do they somehow guide people toward pivotal, life-changing choices? Because synchronicities aren't mere coincidences. They are a form of dialogue, a conversation between your conscious mind, your subconscious, and the deeper intelligence that shapes reality. The key is learning how to collaborate with them rather than resist them. Because once you begin intentionally aligning with synchronicities, they don't just appear more frequently, they evolve into powerful tools for transformation, which leads to a much bigger realization. Why do some people experience synchronicities constantly while others barely encounter them at all? What sets apart those who seem to flow effortlessly with life's patterns from those who feel stuck in chaos and disconnection? The answer may surprise you. Let's go deeper. If synchronicities are always occurring, why do certain people experience them all the time, while others hardly notice any? Why do some individuals seem effortlessly guided by unseen forces while others wander through life feeling trapped in randomness? The answer comes down to three things: awareness, alignment, and belief. Most people go through life disconnected, locked in a mindset of pure logic, doubt, and rigid materialism. They've been programmed to believe that life is mechanical, that events happen solely through cause and effect, that luck is random, and that the universe is cold and indifferent. This belief system becomes a mental wall that blocks synchronicities from showing up in their lives. Even when meaningful coincidences occur, they dismiss them as meaningless, refusing to consider the deeper order behind them. Imagine it like this. You're sitting in a pitch-black room filled with radio waves. Hundreds of stations are playing simultaneously. But unless you have a radio tuned to the right frequency, you won't hear a single thing. Synchronicities work the same way. If your mind isn't attuned to the frequency of alignment, you'll miss the signals that reality is constantly sending your way. Now compare that to people who live in harmony with synchronicities. These people aren't special. They've simply trained their minds to be sensitive to the signs around them. They don't brush off strange alignments as coincidence. Instead, they pay close attention, trust their intuition, and follow the patterns. And here's the fascinating part. The more they acknowledge synchronicities, the more frequently they occur. That's because of two crucial factors: the subconscious mind and the law of vibration. Your subconscious is always absorbing far more information than your conscious mind ever could. It picks up subtle cues, hidden connections, and unnoticed opportunities constantly. When you focus on synchronicities, you're training your subconscious to actively seek them out. It's like programming a search engine. Once you tell your mind that synchronicities matter, it starts filtering reality to deliver them to your awareness more often. This is the subconscious effect. It's the reason some people seem strangely lucky. They're unconsciously shaping their reality, aligning with opportunities and noticing signs that others simply overlook. Their subconscious has been wired for synchronicity. Now, let's talk about the law of vibration. Everything in existence operates on frequency, including your thoughts and emotions. When you exist in a low vibrational state, fear, doubt, negativity, your energy contracts and your awareness narrows. This makes it harder to notice synchronicities because your perception locks into survival mode, focusing only on immediate concerns instead of the bigger picture. But when you elevate your vibration through gratitude, mindfulness, curiosity, and conscious intention, you align more fully with the natural flow of the universe. Your energy expands and synchronicities start appearing because your consciousness is now resonating on the frequency that allows them in. This is why people who meditate, practice presence, or dive deep into self-reflection often report a massive increase in synchronicities. They've cleared the mental clutter and attuned their awareness to the subtle architecture of reality. But there's one more crucial ingredient: trust. The people who experience synchronicities the most are those who genuinely trust the process. They don't waste time questioning whether a sign is real. They follow it. They take action based on the signals, and by doing so, they reinforce the pattern. When you acknowledge, trust, and act on synchronicities, they multiply. Here's where most people get stuck. They notice the synchronicity but hesitate. They second-guess, doubt themselves, or ignore the sign entirely. This weakens the signal, causing the synchronicities to fade over time. Because synchronicities aren't just messages, they are invitations for alignment. The universe is presenting you with a door, but it's your responsibility to walk through it. Which leads to the real question: how do you strengthen this connection? How do you recognize, interpret, and respond to synchronicities so they become a reliable guiding force in your life? The answer lies in learning how to decode the messages, and that's exactly what we're about to explore. Let's go even deeper. Synchronicities are constantly unfolding around you. The problem is most people either don't know how to recognize them, or worse, dismiss them as coincidence. But the moment you learn how to identify these patterns and translate their meaning, you'll realize that reality has been communicating with you all along. The first step to working with synchronicities is awareness. You must shift your mindset from assuming that life is random to understanding that everything is interconnected. The universe speaks in symbols, patterns, and precise timing. These signs typically show up in three main ways. 1. Number sequences and repeating patterns. Have you ever seen the same numbers pop up over and over? 1111, 222, 333. These repeating numbers aren't random. They carry specific vibrational codes. When they show up, it's a signal that something is shifting in your life. Ancient wisdom viewed numbers as the foundation of creation itself. Seeing particular sequences often means your energy is aligning with new possibilities. Pay attention to your thoughts and emotions when these numbers appear. Your subconscious is delivering a message. 2. Symbolic encounters. Synchronicities often take the form of symbols, objects, or animals that hold personal meaning. A song that plays at just the right moment, a phrase echoed by several people in one day, an animal crossing your path unexpectedly. These are all part of a larger communication. The key is simple. If it feels significant to you, it is. 3. Unlikely events and meaningful coincidences. These are the moments when things align so perfectly that logic alone cannot explain them. You're ready to give up on a goal, and out of nowhere, an opportunity appears. You randomly meet the exact person you needed at the exact right time. These events aren't chance, they are nudges from the universe guiding you forward. So how do you decode these synchronicities? It starts by asking the right questions. When a synchronicity shows up, pause and reflect. What was I thinking or feeling just before this happened? What choice am I currently facing, and how might this relate? Does this confirm or challenge something I've been contemplating? Is there a pattern unfolding? Has this happened before? One of the most powerful practices you can adopt is keeping a synchronicity journal. Write down every instance when something strange or significant occurs. Over time, You'll begin to notice patterns. Emerging, you'll spot recurring symbols, repeated messages, and unmistakable guidance showing up. The more you document synchronicities, the more frequently they appear. But here's the key: recognizing synchronicities is only the beginning. Acting on them is what creates transformation. If you're receiving a repeating sign, encouraging you to take a step, follow it. If the same message keeps showing up, it's because the universe is waiting for your response. People who live in harmony with synchronicities are the ones who trust and take action. And this leads to the final, most important piece of the puzzle: how to deliberately invite even more synchronicities into your life. Because once you unlock this channel, you can begin using synchronicities as a tool to manifest real change. Let's go deeper. Recognizing synchronicities is one thing, but learning how to harness them as a tool for change is where the true power lies. The truth is, synchronicities aren't just signs. They're invitations. They are openings to shift, to align, and to step into a reality where things flow effortlessly in your favor. The real question is, are you paying attention? And even more importantly, are you ready to act? Most people treat synchronicities like mysterious, magical occurrences, but passively, as though they're simply interesting coincidences to notice. But in truth, synchronicities are a direct conversation between you and the greater intelligence of the universe. They are confirmations that you are aligned or warnings that you are not. People who experience frequent synchronicities aren't simply lucky. They are conscious participants in the creation of their reality. So how do you use synchronicities to reshape your life? It comes down to three essential steps: intention, alignment, and action. First, set a clear intention. Synchronicities respond to focus. The more precise your desires and thoughts are, the more obvious the signs become. If you seek guidance, ask for it. Literally set an intention like, show me a sign that I'm on the right path, or reveal the next step toward my purpose, or bring the right people, situations, and opportunities into my life. The secret is being open to how the answers arrive. The universe doesn't communicate in straightforward, linear ways. It speaks through symbols, emotions, and experiences. The more you ask, the more the signs will start appearing everywhere. Second, align your energy. Synchronicities mirror your vibrational state. If you are operating from resistance, doubt, fear, or overthinking, you block the flow. But when you shift into trust, curiosity, excitement, and receptivity, the signs begin to multiply. This is why synchronicities often surge during moments of major change, when you step into the unknown but aligned path. One of the fastest ways to amplify synchronicities is by raising your vibration. Practices like meditation, gratitude, visualization, and on deep self-reflection elevate your frequency and put you into a state where synchronicities flow easily. If you've ever gone through a period where everything seems to click into place, it wasn't luck, it was alignment. Third, take aligned action. This is where most people stumble. They see the signs but hesitate. They second-guess themselves. They wait for more confirmation. But synchronicities aren't just messages to observe. They're catalysts for action. If you continue seeing the same number, phrase, or symbol over and over, it isn't by chance. It's a push. If you're feeling drawn toward a new direction, person, or opportunity, that is the universe opening a doorway for you. Your job is to step through it. And here's the most vital part: synchronicities multiply when you follow them. The moment you start trusting the guidance and acting on it, reality begins rearranging itself in your favor. The more you listen, the louder the signs become. The universe rewards momentum. People who live in a deep state of flow with synchronicities don't brush off the signs. They take action. And as a result, they enter a reality where connections, opportunities, and perfect timing become the norm. They're not sitting back waiting for life to happen. They are co-creating it, and this is the moment where you must make a decision. Now that you understand what synchronicities truly are, how they function, and how to use them, what will you do with this knowledge? Because the final step is to fully integrate this into your life, to step into a state of constant awareness, connection, and alignment. And that's exactly what we're about to do next. Let's go deeper. Now that you know the truth about synchronicities, the real question becomes, what will you do with this understanding? Because the reality is most people, after hearing everything we've just uncovered, will slip right back into their old habits. They'll notice a synchronicity, feel a brief moment of wonder, then dismiss it as coincidence. They'll receive a sign pointing toward change, but they'll hesitate, overthink, and let fear hold them back. They'll stay stuck in a loop of doubt, waiting for more evidence, waiting for a bigger sign, waiting for absolute certainty. But here's the truth. Certainty never comes before action. Society has conditioned you to ignore these signs, to explain them away, to stay disconnected from the deeper intelligence orchestrating your life. But now you see the truth. Now you understand that reality isn't random. It's organized, conscious, and responsive, and more importantly, you are part of that system. Your thoughts, emotions, and choices directly shape the path ahead. You are not merely moving through reality. You are co-creating it. What does this mean for you? It means synchronicities aren't just happening to you. They're happening for you. Every alignment, every perfect moment, every repeating number, symbol, or message is an invitation to shift into a new way of being, an invitation to trust, to expand, to align, and most importantly, to act. If there's one thing you remember from this, let it be this: do not ignore the signs. The universe speaks softly at first. If you don't listen, the messages grow louder. If you continue ignoring them, the synchronicities fade and you slip back into autopilot, drifting without direction. But if you listen, if you start treating synchronicities as real, if you follow where they lead, your entire life will transform. The people who experience the most synchronicities aren't lucky, they are awake. They are paying attention. They are following their intuition. They trust the process, and because of that, life moves for them in ways that seem effortless, as though something behind the scenes is aligning everything perfectly in their favor. Because something is. But here's the truth. There's so much more to this than I can cover here. That's exactly why Echoes of the Soul exists, to go far deeper into the knowledge we were never taught. You've seen the patterns, you've felt the alignments. Now it's time to stop doubting and start trusting. Pay attention, follow the signs, take action. Because once you step into alignment, you'll realize synchronicities were never rare. They were always there, waiting for you to wake up and finally see them. If this video resonated with you, let us know by commenting. I understood it.